All right, we have another Breitling in for review from Saltzman's Watches. Huge shout out to them. If you like this watch, or if you like a watch such as Tag, Luminox, Casio, Hamilton, Oris, and many other brands, they carry it and they have great pricing, and also, most of all, they have excellent customer service. Definitely check them out. The link is down below. So what do we have today? We have the Breitling Chronomat Automatic GMT 40mm version in the green dial, guys. Check the beauty out on this. Breitling does AR coding better than a lot of other brands because they do sapphire coating on the top and also underneath the crystal, so you get multiple layers of AR coating, and therefore you don't get a bad angle on this watch. Now, what makes this Breitling Chronomat different than the other Chronomats is the GMT function here. We're going to unscrew the crown out and we're going to bring it to the first position, and when you wind it one way, which as you can see, we are manipulating the GMT function, and then if you go the other way, that will do the date function. Let me get this to the 6 o'clock position. Here we go. So we wind it down and then we get the date function, just like so. We now have the second hand running. You get the B counterbalance, which I'm always a sucker for. I think it's just a nice added detail. But the highlight of the show here is definitely this green dial. Definitely the most impressive green dial I have seen on a watch, and I've seen many, many different watches indeed. Breitling does an excellent job with this watch. Now, the one negative thing I could say about this watch that really irritates me is the bezel. Not the action of the bezel, but the grip. You see, these rider tabs, or should I say lack of rider tabs, is usually where you can grip this watch to bring the bezel around. Now, there isn't a really prominent rider tab really to grip onto. Plus we have high polished surfaces here. No coin edge or even a scallop bezel. Now I know you're going to say, well, AJ, this is not a diver's watch. And I would agree with you. However, if you're going to put a bezel on a watch, you should make it practical. You should not just put it there for, I can't say it's for display purposes because it's not fixed, but at least make it easy to twist, because there is a functionality to this bezel indeed. Because you can truly set this to a third time zone if you chose to. So obviously if you have the hand pointed here, you could obviously have it pointed elsewhere as well on your bezel to track another time zone if you wish. Plus you could also track elapsed time. So, you know, it does have a diver purpose to it. And look, even the water resistance, you're getting 200 meters of water resistance, which is 656 feet. So definitely impressive there. Now the crystal itself has a little bit of a dome, and as you can see, even at this angle, you can see right through to that dial. Even though there's a crystal there, you wouldn't know because of the awesome AR coating on this watch. So definitely kudos to Breitling on that. Now, as I said, you get high polish on this bezel. You do get brushing on the 12, 3, 6, and 9 tabs. Love the onion crown, and you do get crown guard as well. Now, winding it, man, it's so free to twist, so quiet. You're actually, you don't even realize you're really twisting this because of its lack of sound, and also the fact that it's pretty free as well. Now, the movement that is powering this watch is the Breitling 32. and it is a Breitling in-house movement. It is a self-winding mechanical, obviously GMT function. Power reserve is 42 hours, and we're getting a 28,800 vibrations per hour, 21 joules on this watch. You can definitely hear the rotor rotating. You don't feel it though. Actually, you do. I'm sorry, you do feel it, and I like that. Now, there's watches out there like my Tudor where you don't hear it or you feel it. So, you know, if that bothers you, where you hear the rotor and you feel it when you're moving your wrist, then this may not be the watch for you, because it's not loud to the point where like someone's going to say, well, what was that? But you're going to know, especially if your arm is close to your ear, and you can definitely hear it. But it gives a character. It's not obtrusive. I don't know. For me, I like that. I like feeling the rotor. To me, that it's kind of like a stick shift. You're in tune with your watch. So 40 millimeters in case diameter, 11.7 in thickness. So definitely a thinner profile. 153 grams of total weight. The watch head itself is about 75 grams. So the bracelet definitely is going to add some of that heft. The rouleau bracelet that we'll get into a little bit later. 47.4 millimeters lug to lug. And your lug width is 20 millimeters, tapering down to an 18. So as you notice, you get baton indices here. You get the double baton at the 12. Single, you don't get one at the 6 o'clock. You do get a dot there because you do have the date window there. Not a color match window, doesn't bother me, may bother some. And you get luminescence on every one of these indices. You also get it on your handset, and you also get it on the tips of your second hand and your GMT. I do like the contrasting red on the GMT. It does help make it stick out so that you can look at it at a glance and know that it's there. This can be considered a men's watch or a women's watch. Women that want to wear larger watches and men that want to wear more traditional sizes. This is definitely going to appease to, I would say, more wrist sizes. For me, I have a 7-inch wrist, and as you can see, and I'm going to just bring it out a little bit here, it fits my wrist very nicely. And you know what I really like about this watch is that you could dress this up, you could dress it down very easily. It would actually go well with a tuxedo, a suit, shirt and tie, t-shirt, shorts, whatever. This watch has both sportiness and elegance all in one. You get a lot of brushing here on the sides. Little bit of a chamfer that goes all the way up, as you can see. We do get a butterfly clasp. Now this one here, you can actually do it in any order. Whereas the Breitling Navitimer I had a couple videos ago, you had to do it in order. Here you could do it either way, which I do prefer. You do get the B logo there with Breitling here. And I guess let's just get right into this bullet style rouleau bracelet. Beautiful bracelet. Very easy to size, by the way. I would not be intimidated to size this because I've actually done it for my wife for her watch. You simply are going to, these are pins that you're just going to push through, and the rest is pretty self-explanatory. So it's really not that difficult. It's definitely a little bit more difficult than a traditional bracelet, but definitely not as difficult as a traditional Breitling Pilot bracelet. So it's somewhere in between. I was able to actually figure this out within minutes. So it really, you know, I didn't have to like go online and try to, you know, figure it out. So it is pretty self-explanatory. So don't be afraid if you have sized bracelets in the past. Now let's take a look at the case back itself. I'm going to peel this back just for the sake of showing you guys what we have here. It would have been nice if we get a quick release, but we don't get a quick release with the bracelet, by the way. But we do get a Tudor style, Rolex style brushing of the back, which is very clean. I do like that. And you do get some information here as well. Check that out. And this is the A32. Let's say that again. This is the A32398 200 millimeter watch here. So very clean design in the back, gives it a more classic feel. I of course love exhibition case backs, but if you're going to do a case back, get it clean. And also, hey, look, at the end of the day, you could even have this engraved if you were giving this to a special person that's going to keep this for life. Absolutely would be a great opportunity to do that. And as I said, this watch wears very, very nicely on the wrist here. Check that out. Now, in different lights, you get different effects. So when I first opened this watch up, I took it out of the box. I thought it was a black face. It really, in certain lights, it looks black. In other lights, it is really like emeraldy green. It's beautiful. Definitely my favorite green dial of any watch by far. Breitling did an excellent job. So the bezel definitely is my biggest drawback on this particular watch. Bracelet is absolutely just butter. I mean, it's a quality feel, super comfortable, super flexible. Love the tapering from the 20 to 18. And even though I'm not a big fan of butterfly clasps, this one actually works because you have this rouleau bracelet here, and the links are actually more adjustable than your typical links, so that you can get a better fitment on the wrist. So don't let that sway you. But I would just say the overall proportions of this watch being so thin, your lug to lug being less than 50 millimeters, it's 40 millimeters. This is going to fit a variety of wrists. So if you are the type of person that has stayed away from Breitling because their watches are too big and bulky and heavy, you're getting a more lightweight, traditional styled, traditional size. This one isn't in your face. It's very clean. And the GMT here is actually not as traditional as the typical GMTs. I mean, when you take a look at a traditional GMT, you typically think of, for instance, I'll just show you here, my Tudor GMT, right? And you typically have the bezel where you typically have 1 through 24. Here you have more of that diver bezel, but then you just have this, and then your 1 through, or should I say even 12 to 24 hour mark is actually on the rehat here, as you'll see right here. So very clean way of doing it. This way you can even use this, as I stated earlier, as a diver and GMT, and the two don't really interfere with each other, and you could use them separately for sure. A little bit of a cleaner way of looking at it. So yeah, I really like the watch. We're gonna put this on the time graph and show you exactly the fact that this is indeed Chronometer certified. So this is definitely within COSC certification. So anywhere from -4 seconds to +6 seconds per day. Definitely awesome there. And of course you get awesome lume with this. You of course get your Swiss Super Luminova with this, and it definitely does not disappoint. Besides that, I think you're getting a really solid watch. Price point on these, there's just around the $6,000 mark. So not a cheap watch indeed, but definitely a watch that will be a lifer. I mean, these watches are built tough. They will last you a lifetime if you take care of them. Built of really good materials. I'm a Breitling fan. As you guys know, I own a Navitimer, and I also own the Breitling Headwind. And I would not hesitate to buy another one. Actually, I did. I bought this one here, but for I actually bought the smaller size, which I'm going to show you in a later video. I bought the Chronomat for my wife in a 36 millimeter. She's got some rose gold accents, mother of pearl dial. You'll definitely want to stay tuned because I will definitely feature that, because technically you could say that that is a unisex watch. Yeah, she's got this, you know, fancy diamonds and the rose gold, the mother of pearl, and it makes it look a little bit more feminine. But just being a 36 millimeter and they have other versions does make that a unisex watch and will fit men that want that 36 millimeter. So I will have that up on the channel as well and show you guys that one. But I wanted to definitely give you guys a treat here with this green dial. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time on Average Joe Watch Reviews. God bless, my friends.